their third straight win. Plus, we reveal our prep player of the week on the late edition of Sports Unlimited.
It's been a great start to the weekend, and the gorgeous weather continues tomorrow. Our temperatures will reach the upper 70s by the afternoon with plenty of sunshine. A great day for spending some time outside, but then on Sunday we have our next weather maker. Temperatures will be a little lower, only reaching the mid-70s, and we also have the next chance for rain. Rain continues on Monday and then on Tuesday as well. Coming up, I'll have a look at the timing of the rain and impacts to your Memorial Day plans and my full forecast in about 20 minutes. Back to you.
Jasmine, thank you. Coming up on Fox 45 News at 6 o'clock tonight, how will it impact kids, business, and parents? We're talking about that curfew that's about to go into effect. And the United States has more time than we initially thought. The new deadline for officials in Washington to get a debt deal done.
We are following breaking news. Multiple people have been shot in downtown Baltimore. Fox 45's Vincent Hill is on standby with the latest. And we're just hours away from Mayor Scott's youth curfew. A look at how businesses and residents are feeling ahead of tonight. You're taking a live look right now at the Ocean City Beach and Boardwalk. Coming up, from traffic to weather, what you can expect as we head into the holiday weekend.
Live from WBFF in Baltimore, this is Fox 45 News at 6.
Good evening, I'm Maxine Stryker. We begin tonight with breaking news. Several people have been shot downtown, just a block north of the newly revamped Lexington Market. Let's get right to Fox 45's Vincent Hill. He's live on the scene with the latest. Vincent?
I want to go ahead and step out of the way. Police just clearing the scene within the last 5 minutes. But here's what we know. This all happened around 3:30. According to Baltimore police, a gunman opened fire, possibly intending to shoot one person, but a total of 5 were shot, ranging in ages from 38 to 63. The gunman firing those shots just feet away from a Baltimore City police car. Here's what Commissioner Harrison had to say about that.
They are not afraid of arrest and jail, and they are not afraid of dying. And when you have people like that, they will commit very, very violent and brazen acts. Anyone who saw something, heard something, or knows someone who did see or hear something, please let us know so that we can find this shooter, hold this shooter accountable so that we can, number one, make sure that this is not just a safe place to live, but a safe place to shop, a safe place to die.
Back out here live, we know one of those men took themselves to the hospital. The other 4 were transported by an ambulance. Their condition is listed as non-life-threatening injuries. For now, we're live in Baltimore. Vincent Hill, Fox 45 News.
Vincent, thank you. A live look now to the Capitol in D.C., where there's more breaking news tonight. The U.S. now has until June 5th to reach a debt deal. Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen pushing back her original deadline of June 1st. And while pushing back the deadline, Yellen once again stressed the need to reach a deal, warning of economic disaster if lawmakers cannot find a solution. Coming up, national correspondent Atra El-Nashar will have more on the impact of a potential default.
If you love your parents and if you like nice things, I'm going to say follow the rules.
Well, those words from a mother to teens across Baltimore City as the curfew is set to begin tonight. Parents facing possible fines for kids who violate this summer's curfew multiple times. Fox 45's Amy Simpson was in Fells Point ahead of night 1 of the curfew to see how people are feeling about how the mayor's plan will work.
I went door to door to many businesses here in Fells Point today, and reaction ahead of this curfew is quite varied. Some telling me they had no idea about the curfew altogether, others questioning enforcement and not holding their breath for teens to comply.
Yeah, I think
on national cable news this morning,
Baltimore has had a curfew ordinance in place for much of my lifetime.
Baltimore Mayor Brandon Scott doubling down on the city's plans for a summer youth curfew.
And we're going to do everything to save our young people, including enforcing curfew.
As some question the enforcement itself.
Law enforcement will not be going out and pulling and pushing young people into the vans or all of these things that folks think.
In Fells Point today, mixed reaction ahead of the first night of new rules for teenagers who are expected
On the fence with it, right?
I really have high hopes that it will work. I don't know if it will work. The kids probably won't stay in. They want to be with their friends. They want to go out and do what they want to do, and sometimes that includes debauchery. So
this Northeast Baltimore woman describing posts she sees on Citizen app.
So I'll see a lot of violent reports of teenagers doing very crazy acts, jumping on people's cars, carjackings in the middle of the night. They're bored.
Meanwhile, this woman describes what she sees herself in Fells Point.
Just large groups of young kids who are, interacting with people in a more abrasive way. It can be off-putting.
Often prompting her to stay home.
I don't like to go out at night, and, I live in Fells Point, and that's part of the joy of living downtown.
And this mom telling Fox 45 News she raised her kids here in the city, but she's not holding her breath for teens to abide.
Kids are going to be kids. As a teenager, the first opportunity you get to kind of sneak out, you're going to sneak out.
And according to the city, that curfew starts tonight and is expected to last all summer until Labor Day weekend. In Fells Point, Amy Simpson, Fox 45 News.
Well, as we count down to the youth curfew, Fox 45's Jeff Abel was there today as the mayor kicked off his Be More This Summer plan. It's another part of his strategy to keep youth off the streets.
Well, in about 3 hours, the city's new curfew enforcement plan takes effect, and there are still lingering questions about its impact. The mayor came to the pool here at Druid Hill Park this afternoon to officially launch several summer youth programs and to clear up any confusion about that curfew enforcement effort. Even though the plan attempts to limit interactions between police and curfew violators, the union that represents police officers predicts the enforcement plan will further burden an already overburdened police department.
I will be reaching out directly to the union and explaining and talking to them how about this is not the case. Again, we want to relieve them of something that has been their sole duty for as long as I've been breathing air in Baltimore, and bring the rest of city government and the community, most importantly, to be a part of that. This is not something, again, what we should stop doing, what you should stop doing, what folks should stop doing is trying to make this to be some sensationalized thing, and for us to talk about the reality.
Other cities like Philadelphia and D.C., which have also recently launched curfew enforcement efforts, have discovered that they had little or no impact on crime or victimization. Jeff Abel, Fox 45 News.
Under the curfew, those younger than 14 need to be home by 9. Those 14 to 16, they can stay out until 11. If kids are found breaking the curfew, they'll be asked to go home or taken to a youth connection center while the city tries to locate their parents. But going to those connection centers is not a requirement. The kids have to agree to go, which is drawing questions from some in city leadership.
At the end of the day, though, if a young person decides that they are not going to go, I want to remind members of the public and members of this committee that the curfew ordinance does not, young people are not violating criminal code, and so we are not forcing them to go anywhere.
This is not a tool that's going to make the Baltimore city safer. This is not a tool that's going to go against the young folks who are intentionally creating unproductive activity at night. So I think we just have to accept that and literally move on.
According to the mayor's office, the plan will cost Baltimore taxpayers just over $1 million. When it comes to engagement with kids, the city has identified 3 main areas where young people tend to gather. They're Fells Point, Federal Hill, and the Inner Harbor. The city referring to these areas as static locations where they'll make sure officers and social workers will be prepared to engage with young people.
We are following more breaking news tonight. 3 14-year-old boys have been arrested, we're told, accused of stealing a rideshare driver's car, then robbing a 7-Eleven. Police say it happened around 6 a.m. this morning. 3 teens, one with a gun, carjacked the motorist near the 200 block of East Biddle Street. Minutes later, police were called to a report of an armed robbery at a 7-Eleven in the 3600 block of Falls Road. Now, police say the teens entered the store, announced a robbery, and took money from the cashier. Investigators were able to find the suspects by tracking down that stolen vehicle. All 3 are 14, we're told, and are in custody. Maxine?
Thank you, Kai. It's already been a violent start to Memorial Day weekend in Baltimore, along with the 5 people shot this afternoon. 5 people were shot last night. 4 of them hit in a quadruple shooting that happened just before 11 p.m. 2 women and 2 men, all in their 20s, were shot along Ramona Avenue. That's in northeast Baltimore. They are all expected to survive. Some law enforcement experts saying this continues a trend of violence over Memorial Day weekend in Baltimore City.
If you go back in history and just look at Memorial Day weekends in Baltimore, there is generally a significantly higher level of violence than other weekends.
In 2022, 3 people died in shootings over the holiday weekend, including a 17-year-old boy. In 2021, 9 people died. In the year before that, 8 people lost their lives. Memorial Day weekend is here, and that means thousands of people are hitting the road in Maryland, many of them trying to get down to Ocean City, of course. This is a live look at the Ocean City Boardwalk and the Bay Bridge tonight, along with our weather radar and the conditions in the Baltimore area from our Chevy Storm Tracker. Meteorologist Jasmine Lomax is in now with a first look at what you should expect if you're headed out of town tonight. Jasmine?
Well, if you are heading around the region, it looks mostly good today, but tomorrow we've got a better chance for showers, especially south, so parts of the Carolinas, even Virginia, looking at some heavy rain. And then the rain reaches us for the latter half of the weekend. Tomorrow it looks great, though. Temperatures in the upper 70s here, great for traveling around the state. Then on Sunday we have the mid 70s, a little bit lower, along with the chance for a few showers, but it doesn't look like a washout. After that, we're talking upper 70s on Memorial Day, but we have another chance for a few showers, so you will want to keep watch on the radar. It's all because of a low pressure system around Florida. That's leading to areas of rain around the Carolinas, and as that system moves inland, that rain will push farther inland, reaching our area on Sunday. Coming up, I'll have a look at the timing of the rain and impacts to your Memorial Day plans, along with our next warm-up and my full forecast. Back to you.
A year after he was shot, one of the Uvalde victims is thanking the people that saved his life. His message to the doctors and nurses today.
An update from the Treasury Secretary that totally changes the timeline of debt ceiling negotiations. I'm Atrell Nashar with what it means for the full faith and credit of the United States.
South Carolina's new law banning most abortions after 6 weeks of pregnancy is on hold for now. A judge paused the bill just about 24 hours after the governor signed it, so the state Supreme Court can review it. The new law is similar to the one, but that law was struck down by the Supreme Court over privacy concerns. Republican lawmakers are hoping justices will change their minds. Another Oath Keeper sentenced for their role in the Capitol riots. Army veteran Jessica Watkins will spend 8.5 years in prison for storming the Capitol. She's been convicted of several felonies, including conspiracy to obstruct an official proceeding. The judge said the sentence reflects her aggressive efforts and lack of immediate remorse. At sentencing, Watkins called herself an idiot. Today's sentencing comes just a day after a judge handed down the harshest punishment yet to a Capitol rioter. 58-year-old Stuart Rhodes will spend 18 years in prison after being convicted on conspiracy charges. Breaking news from Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen updating the first potential default date to June 5th instead of June 1st after getting more data about incoming revenue and implementing a new extraordinary measure to keep paying the bills. National correspondent Atra El-Nashar explains the update now from Capitol Hill.
Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen giving debt ceiling negotiations some much needed breathing room. It's not much, but it could be enough time to avoid a default that would jeopardize the full faith and credit of the United States and cause chaos on Wall Street. In a letter to House Speaker Kevin McCarthy Friday afternoon, Yellen explains the Treasury will be able to make the more than $130 billion in scheduled payments during the first 2 days of June. Those include checks to veterans, Social Security and Medicare recipients. But the week of June 5th, there's another $92 billion due, and the Treasury is not expected to have enough resources to cover those. She's also just let the speaker know that on Thursday, the Treasury implemented another extraordinary measure that hasn't been used since 2015. It swaps $2 billion in Treasury securities from a civil service retirement fund to the fund that helps federal agencies manage their borrowing and lending. While this takes some pressure off of the White House and Speaker's office, they still need to act quickly over the holiday weekend to make sure the legislation can be written, reviewed, passed through both chambers, and get to the president's desk for signature by June 5th. Despite pleas from some progressive Democrats, on Friday morning, the Deputy Treasury Secretary poured cold water on the idea of the president invoking the 14th Amendment to order the Treasury to keep paying the bills after the debt ceiling is hit.
We don't have the capability to naturally triage and decide this payment is made and that payment is not because of the way that our systems are set up.
Now, this update from Yellen is also expected to draw criticism from some of those House Republicans who are already skeptical of her original June 1st deadline. Maxine?
And Atra, obviously we're going into a holiday weekend, so what are the plans for negotiations?
Well, we expect staffers from both the White House and Speaker's office to continue these near constant negotiations that they've been conducting over the past few days. Speaker McCarthy, we believe, is still planning on staying here in D.C. Perhaps it's changed on the fly here with this news from Yellen, but that was the latest news that he would be here in D.C. However, the president and first lady are heading to Camp David for the weekend. When asked if he should be here in the Capitol instead, the White House has been adamant he can do his job anywhere. But I think it really demonstrates just how staff-led these talks are. For example, the speaker and the president were both here in Washington today, and they did not speak directly to each other.
Well, a lot to look for this weekend, that's for sure. Thanks, Atra.
Thanks.
Right now, you're taking a look over Baltimore and over Towson. We've got plenty of sunshine, great weather on this Friday evening. But on the HD radar, you can see our next weather maker. It's leading to rain across parts of the coast of the Carolinas, and that's headed our way. It could have an impact on some of your plans later this weekend. Right now, though, we've got lots of sunshine, 74 for the temperature with light winds. We've got temperatures mainly in the 70s across the state with plenty of sunshine. A great evening for eating outside or just spending some time on the patio. As we head into the night, our temperatures drop to the 40s and the 50s. We'll stay nice and quiet. And then tomorrow, we reach the upper 70s. So you can expect higher temperatures for a gorgeous Saturday and then a little bit lower on Sunday. Highs will be in the mid-70s, a little cooler than average. And we also have our next chance for a few showers as that weather maker arrives. After that, upper 70s on Memorial Day with another chance for showers. This rain could have impacts on your plans. A similar forecast, just a little bit cooler if you're heading to Ocean City this weekend. Tomorrow is the dry day, a little breezy at times with highs around 63. The rest of the week will be in the mid 60s, and there is the chance for showers and possible storms on Sunday and again on Monday. So if you do have any plans, the rain could impact them across the state later this weekend, all because of this low pressure system off the coast of Florida. And that low pressure system will move up the coast and inland. As that happens, the rain will follow, leading to showers here, and that's what could have impacts on some of your travel plans or outdoor plans on Sunday and Monday. This evening looks great with mostly clear skies. We'll wake up to plenty of sunshine in the morning, and we're still looking at a lot of sunshine by the afternoon. Then on Sunday, we start off with dry weather and more clouds ahead of that system. The showers will follow for the afternoon. These continue off and on. It won't be a washout, but still, if you have plans, just keep watch on the radar. Will gradually start to dry out overnight, and then into Monday starting off dry, but you can see that rain starting to move in. That arrives for the afternoon. After that, there's the chance for spotty showers on Tuesday, and the rest of the week will stay mostly dry with rising temperatures. We're looking at a hot start to the month of June. Tonight, temperatures drop to 51 with mostly clear skies and overall quiet conditions. Then tomorrow, expect a mix of sunshine and clouds as high temperatures reach the upper 70s and even the low 80s in some areas. It'll be a little breezy at times, but we stay dry. That changes for the second half of the weekend. Coming up, I'll have a look at what you can expect as the weekend ends and the big warm-up that arrives for June in the exclusive 10-day forecast.
Weather Window, presented by the National Weather Desk.
There was flash flooding overnight in eastern New Mexico. Some areas received up to 8 inches of rainfall. That's nearly half the annual average. One community was covered in 2 inches of baseball-sized hail. Quite the show Thursday near Pensacola, Florida. A dolphin swims right up to the beach, splashing as it does a quick turnaround. Then it joins up with a calf and swims away.
For more content like this, follow the National Weather Desk on TikTok.
Trending tonight, imagine a patient with ALS who can control a computer or mobile device with their thoughts. That technology one step closer to reality. Elon Musk's company Neuralink has gotten the FDA's approval to start human trials for its brain implant called Link. It's meant to help patients with severe degenerative diseases. Patients would have to have an invasive brain surgery to get the implant, and thin threads would be put directly into the brain tissue. The doctors that were strangers a year ago now feel like family members, seeing one of the victims of the Uvalde mass shooting return to the hospital where his life was saved. Well, one of the children shot in the Robb Elementary mass shooting in Uvalde, Texas, returning to the hospital that helped save his life. Following the shooting's one-year anniversary this week, Noah Arona wanted to thank all the frontline workers who took care of him. Amanda Henderson from our Sinclair sister station in San Antonio has the story.
They were strangers a year ago. Today, their family.
So we're just so happy to see everyone here.
Inside the doors of Methodist Children's Hospital on the Northwest Side, nurses and a top surgeon cheer for a patient.
Good to catch up.
They say they'll never forget.
We got the call, and I'm sure, I assumed that the trauma centers were quite busy, and so of course we accepted him and took care of him right away.
Dr. Frank Robertson says that call was for help treating Noah Arona. The 11-year-old needed surgery after being shot last year in the Robb Elementary mass shooting. 21 people were killed, including Noah's 2 teachers and several of his classmates.
I mean, we were just so under so much stress and not knowing what to expect and what was going on with Noah.
Today, he and his family returned to visit the surgeon and nurses who were with them every step of the way.
I'm really thankful for all that they have done for me, and I really do appreciate it, especially the surgeon.
We have so much to be grateful for them because they, did everything for our son.
Our surgeon just brings me to tears because, he just had that confidence about him that I knew our son was in good hands.
The family passed out roses to the team and brought them lunch while wearing matching shirts in honor of the Classroom 112 survivor.
Resilience to us means Noah.
For us, this is something that we think, in a nutshell, encapsulates everything about him.
The Arona family also passed out these wristbands with Noah's name on it, and these are actually a common gift that the families have been giving to people they've met along the way on their healing journey, as well as their journey over the past year. Reporting in San Antonio, I'm Amanda Henderson.
We are in for another